Back at it on the Modern Hip Hop channel at 95.3. My man is here looking fresh to death. Big show on Thursday. I'm excited to have Brother Ali in the studio once again.
Thank you.
My man, my
Always
friend.
happy to be with
like,
you. Yeah.
I love having you here.
Thank you. I love being here.
Yeah, man. I think we're going to get into something coming up. We got a little trick up our sleeve today for the listening audience, but I'm just excited about this show, dog.
Yeah, we put our new album out back in May.
Yeah. And
have been touring ever since then.
Great.
Like really, really thoroughly. We did, a month and a half of all the bigger markets in America, in the country, and then spent the whole summer doing festivals. And then, so this fall, got back on the road and did all of the smaller markets.
Cool.
Which is, that's really what Atmosphere taught us.
Yeah.
And really, Atmosphere taught all of hip-hop that. Atmosphere and Tech Nine, I really believe, delivered that to the hip hop world.
Yeah, man.
Because before those two, nobody was really going to all of the smaller cities where hip hop never goes.
Yeah.
And those two groups weren't accepted or respected and appreciated in the mainstream, and so they went directly to people.
Yeah.
And so we do that first tour when we first released the record. Yep. And we go all the big places, and we have our big, sold out shows in all the cities, the main cities. But then to come back and do the smaller towns, it's like, man, this is where careers are built.
Yeah, man.
This is the difference between people who, just do what looks good to other people and also add to that, like, what really is a genuine, real building, really like being with people and really, going everywhere where there are people that want to hear us.
And having so much respect for these smaller towns to show up and give the same A game that you're going to give in a D.C. or a Boston or a New York, going to, I don't know, give me a small town.
I mean, we did North Carolina, and we did Missoula, Montana.
Yeah. I
did a city called Whitefish, Montana.
Sick.
Which is a small, we were already on the tour.
Yeah.
And the promoters there saw a day off on the tour, and they saw that they were in between two of the cities. And so they made us a really big offer, but they said, we've been trying to get you guys to come here for years.
Yeah.
And they just really rolled out the red carpet for us. And it's one of the best shows that we've had
awesome.
in a long time.
You have fun in those smaller markets?
Most of them I do.
Yeah,
overwhelmingly, man. I do.
Yeah.
There are some, where the people just don't get a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And so they, when you try to connect with them, they're nervous.
Yeah.
They're not being, it's really difficult for them.
The spectators are really watching rather than interacting.
Right.
Wow.
But, or sometimes they interact in ways that I'm just not culturally used to. You know what I mean? So it just takes a lot of, you really have to really put your ego away completely so that you can just connect with people where they are. And it's like, if I'm an artist, then that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Like I bring you what I really am, but I have to offer it to you as you are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
yes.
like, come as you are to me as I am.
Yes.
That's really when we're doing the real work.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm under no threat of ever becoming like, rich, famous, Grammys types things. Really. But what I do, the reason that what keeps bringing me back to this year after year, I've been touring for 15 years.
Yeah, man.
What keeps bringing me back to it are real, genuine connections with people. It's good to have a business for 15 years. Like, that also feels good.
Yeah.
And to have a business that, employs people and feeds my family and things. All that's very nice.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't keep me, away from my family for 6 months at a time. I wouldn't do that. The reason I do that is because of the people, and I only need one person in each show that I have a genuine connection with, that our hearts get soft enough that we share a secret for a minute, and it just really validates like the humanity of both of us. And so that's really what I really love about doing this. And I think that there are people that look at what Rhymesayers does, and that's the part they miss. That's the part they miss. They look at Soundset and the numbers of Soundset.
Right.
And like, that's fine. And there are people who think that, there are people who, subjectively are like, well, so-and-so raps better than Slug and Ali do. And they might be right. But the difference is that when you approach it from a long game of service and a long game of, being an artist, and this art is going to nourish my soul, because I'm gonna put all aspects of my humanity in this music, and then what I'm really looking to do is to connect with other people in a genuine way. Then it won't matter who those people are or what they look like, or like whether or not they look cool on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the people that are looking at things like Soundset, what they don't see is the 20 years before that of just ego crushing work. Where they're like, there's nothing sexy about this.
Small shows, little thing, not big rewards, but spreading that like connection. You said something that stayed with me a couple minutes. Sharing a secret for a minute.
Right.
I've never heard it articulated like that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, because
that's the vibe.
A real song or real art is like, here's a secret that I couldn't figure out how to say with words. Or I could only say with words in the context of a song or poem or something. And so it's like, here's a secret. And there's a part of you that's like, do I really need to be telling everybody this?
Right.
And then it's like, well, okay, well, this is the reality that the creator wrote for me. So I'm going to write the song. And then when somebody responds to it, there's no other reason than they have the same secret. And so that's really what animates all of this stuff.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, that's the way you articulate it is like, that's what it is. It's a special connection.
Yeah, and that's why, Atmosphere in their, 40s are stronger than they were in their 20s. Whereas most people, it's the opposite.
Right.
Because as you know, like, consumerism is driven by teenagers.
Of course.
Because teenagers are starting to have physical power. They have a little bit of bargaining power in their families.
Yes.
But they don't necessarily always, they can be swayed. And so the idea of consumerism is sway these young people, make them like stuff, and then make them go get their parents' money and spend their parents' money on it.
Right.
And so most people, they have a spark when they start, like JayZ said, and then they fall apart because they're speaking to people who don't know themselves yet.
Right.
And and these artists don't necessarily know themselves either. They're doing whatever is popular, whatever's trendy, whatever they think is going to quote unquote work.
Right.
But the people that really tap into something, they're tapping into a truth. And the truth is the truth, no matter what it looks like and no matter who it is.
Right.
The truth is a pole that runs to the center of reality. And so grounding ourselves on truth does that. So, some of the people that might look at Rhymesayers, even with some jealousy or something like that, it's like, I'm sorry, you missed the point. You missed the point entirely.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for the parts of our lives that look sexy or look cool or look admirable, it's like this stuff comes with a whole lot of work and a lot of willingness to not be cool. You know what I'm saying? To do a lot of things that, like, when I say, like, we sold out Whitefish last night, who does that get me points with? Nobody. There's nobody.
The people in Whitefish.
The people in Whitefish, yeah. But who cares about them?
Nobody.
Nobody cares about them.
Yeah, nobody but them, right?
Nobody cares about them.
No, I never heard of the place.
Yeah, and me neither until I went there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's interesting because one of the times I went to a place called Jackson Hole, Missouri.
Yeah.
Or Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's in Wyoming too. A lot of these little ski towns.
Yeah.
And that's where, and I went to that place not knowing anything about it. These dudes that run this magazine there were major fans. And they're like, yo, you sit and talk to them. And like these guys are like, man, your music helped me with this. Slug's music helped me with this. Murph's music helped me with this part of my life. You know what I'm saying? Musab. Talking about being broke and like all of this stuff, like these things really helped me with my life. So then they throw up this party and they offer us small amount of money, not a huge amount. We go out there, do the thing, really show up for them, and that's the night that Justin Timberlake got on stage. You know what I'm saying? And was like beatboxing for me and like, you know what I'm saying?
Dog.
Because people that really know, they know that, they get it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The reasons why we think we like a lot of these famous people, the real ones that have a longevity, it's not because they had one little cute idea, and it's not because they hit on one popular trend for a second. It's because you see these people that over the course of their career are like really, they're leading the people that listen to them because they're tapping into a truth that other people haven't been able to access yet. So the reason why JayZ is a leader for as long as he is, JayZ was saying things in a certain way that's like, that's not what everybody's talking about. And people would a lot of times criticize whatever he was doing in the moment. And there are little instances where you see him trying to do something trendy or something like that. Those are not the songs that he's still performing. That when you see JayZ now and it's just him on stage with a DJ, there might be some musicians, and he's just standing there performing songs that have like lived in people's hearts for 20-something years. You know what I'm saying? That's all because a person taps into a truth.
Right.
And and you have no control over where your truth lands. You know what I'm saying? So people would be like, oh, you know, they rap for white people. And it's like, well, somebody, you know, first of all, we didn't necessarily choose that, but we won't reject it either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because somebody has to deliver the message to everybody. Somebody, everybody deserves the truth.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we really believe in hip hop or not? You know what I'm saying? Is hip hop really what we say it is or not? Is it really the universal movement that we say it is? Because if it is, then somebody's got to be giving it to everybody.
Man,
everybody deserves it.
Yo,
and so like,
it's
so
crazy.
are you gonna throw rocks at somebody that's going somewhere? You know what I mean? And then a lot of those people that do that, it's like, okay, in your community, are people tattooing your lyrics on them? Do you speak to your community the way that we speak to the people that
You're right.
that respond to what we're saying?
You're right.
You know, and you know, so for me to go in that space and talk about the things I talk about, there is nobody signing up to hear me talk what I'm talking. There's nobody signing up to hear me talk about, you know, Islam and black excellence and all of this stuff. Nobody's like, yeah, we need like a fat 40-year-old to teach us about that. Nobody's asking for that. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's your truth, dog.
That's right. And people don't even necessarily agree with it. People have been coming to these shows 15 years. Not all of them became Muslims.
Right,
Not all of them started reading James Baldwin.
Right.
The stuff I like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some of them do.
Right.
You know, and so I would say because I know that there are other artists in the Twin Cities that view Rhymesayers a certain way. And the other thing is, you don't have to talk about us. You can talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you know, I wasn't always part of Rhymesayers. I was an up and coming hip hop or MC like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was at the Bon Appetit
Very
battling
young.
Carnage
I
Executioner.
heard stories about you, very young brother Ali, in a little kind of group setting and stuff. You've been doing this.
Yeah, no, this is all I've done since I was 8 years old, and I never had another hustle. I never had a side hustle.
Amazing.
I've never have done anything other than talk in a mosque, which they don't pay you for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Zeke's grandmother knows me from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And rap on stage, which they do pay you for.
That's amazing.
If people care enough. But I'm saying, so the people that look at, one of the things that I noticed about these men, about Sadiq and about Slug and about Ant and about, is that if you're sincere, they will tell you everything that there's no secrets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's more open about what they do than Rhymesayers. So there's no secret. There's no like, oh, they're just doing, no.
Holding information.
No, there's none of that.
Yeah.
There's none of that. Kevin Beacham, you know what I'm saying? Sky Raw, like all of these people that really, you know, Jay Bird,
Yes.
all of these people that built this thing, you can, if you're sincere, now I'm saying if you're on some like, if you're obviously jealous, then like, yeah, the door, like the hearts aren't gonna open for you.
Of course.
But if you talk to anybody in this city, including me, that's how I started with them, is that I showed up and was like, y'all are doing something very right. And I don't want anything from you, but I would like to learn. I would like the opportunity to learn.
Yes, dog.
So Sadiq was like, yeah, roll with us and learn. You know what I'm saying? Go over Ant's crib and just watch how they do it. And there's nobody's hiding anything. You know what I'm saying? It really is a question of like, you know, and when people talk about like the racial realities, that's a real thing. That is a real thing.
Definitely.
But what we also have to look at is like, what music is impacting people. So I Self Divine doesn't sell the same numbers as Atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
But I Self Divine, Shaka doesn't sell the same numbers. But the people that do respond to Shaka, even though numerically it's a smaller number of people,
Right.
quantitatively,
Yeah.
qualitatively though, those people that listen to that music,
Yeah.
they go get in the Speak training program to become community organizers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The people that shut down the police station, you know, in the north side
Mhm.
for 18 days. Or for 6 weeks or whatever. I forgot the number. But I'm saying they shut down, you know, Misha and them. Shut that down. Those are people who responded to Shaka in a way that made them like, I'm going to dedicate my life to what he's talking about. The impact is still there.
Definitely.
So like, I don't want to hear about you the best rapper, and I don't want to hear about that you're the tightest thing here, and you're not impacting people in the community that you say that you're a part of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking to receive from that community before you actually give to that community. There's
Yeah,
a lot
or
of like,
just- or-
I give it to. I'm a great thing. Give me something.
Yeah.
It's more
and
giving.
like if the idea is that somebody's holding you back, nobody can hold your truth back.
No way.
The truth belongs to God, man. So like if you have a truth, that you're honestly and sincerely and genuinely tapping into, and genuinely nobody can keep the people away from that want it. Do you know what I'm saying? So even if you're not getting looks, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
People saying like, well, no one's giving me an opportunity. I'm saying there is some truth to that, in the sense that, like, the world is set up in a way where there are certain, really unjust standards that are just standard in the world. You know what I'm saying? And but along with all of that, if somebody has something of value, even if it's not a huge number of people that will respond, you'll start seeing a genuine response in people. And there's nobody that can keep you from that. And there's no gatekeeper that can keep your heart from touching another person's heart.
Dude, I love having you here, and the things that you speak about, and how passionate you are, and watching you speak is,
Thank you.
I love it.
And I'm sorry, but one more thing. I'm not saying this because I feel defensive, because anybody can say anything they want, and anybody can think they're better than anybody, and that's fine.
That's fine. That's real.
No, yeah, you should believe that you have something really genuine and real. But what I'm saying is, people that are not accessing their greatest self because they think that Rhymesayers is in the way. Nobody's in the way.
No one.
If you're dope, nobody's in your way.
No one's in the way.
If anything, and you might feel like Rhymesayers is not relevant to you. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine.
Cool.
If you don't see that, like, Soundset is here because of the work that Sadiq and Slug do,
You're not
and
into
Jay Bird and
it's
those
not
guys.
for you.
Yeah. I mean, if Soundset's not tight to you, fine.
Cool, bro.
You know what I'm saying? If the fact that, like, if the fact that there's a hip hop show every night of the week, a local show that you can go get on, if you don't like the open mic, fine. That's fine. But if you think somebody's holding you back, you're holding yourself back.
It's facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would love to see a lot of the artists that that kind of carry this begrudging, like, I would love to see them freed from that.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's only affecting, and the reason I say that, I wasn't planning on saying any of this. I don't really think about it.
This is a
but
real
sitting
thing.
in this chair, I've seen people sit in this chair, and I feel that that's what they're feeling.
Yes. I've heard it. People have said this to me.
Yeah.
And this perception, because it really is a perception of that somebody's successful and they're not bringing you along, so in turn they're holding you back.
No.
You should be inspired by what Rhymesayers has built in this town.
Right.
When you see a company like Go 95.3, we started with nothing by playing music and jokes and tickets, and now there's an opportunity. And this was not a guaranteed thing for anybody. This was our hard work and dedication, and we've just begun.
Yeah.
But you can do it too. And if I can do it, and you can do it, and he can do it, why can't they do it?
Yeah. Now, I know people will sit there and say, well, like, two white men talking about hip hop in the Twin Cities are over, but what? That's right.
Okay,
that's very
true.
true. But I'm saying, like, look at the people who are, have actually built things.
Yes.
And where's the work? You know what I'm saying, to go along with that. That's all I'm saying. Like, any excuses that we have, all of our excuses are true. Let's say all the excuses are true.
Real talk.
Let's say they're all true.
Okay.
Let's say they're all true. Mm-hmm. Now what?
Right.
Now what?
Are we going to allow that to stop us?
And the reality is that like, it's a true thing. These people aren't gonna free you. You know what I'm saying? But the idea that, like, those people are in our way,
right,
is like,
that's not fair.
Yeah. Where's your best self in that?
I feel it.
Where's
bro.
your best self in that?
No, you come in here every time, and I feel like you really.
I'm supposed to be talking about my show.
No, bro, you tell me the truth though.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when hearing what you have to say, and the way you so eloquently articulate it. It makes a lot of sense. And this is something that's happening in town. I hear it all the time. Oh, those guys are that, or I can't get on because of those guys, or Peter Parker's not putting me on the radio, so he's stopping me from succeeding.
Right.
That's not
true.
true.
Who put Atmosphere on the radio? How about we do for you what people did for Atmosphere? How about we do for you what people did for me? You know what I'm saying? What did people do for Atmosphere? You know who did something for Atmosphere? The Micronauts. Mm-hmm. What did the Micronauts do? The Micronauts couldn't, you know what I'm saying? The Micronauts form a collective in the Twin Cities that still exists. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You still see, Billy, Truth Maze. You still see Truth Maze out here doing stuff. Definitely. You still see Kool Hakeem, teaching. You still see, you know what I'm saying? And then they went to Atlanta and got a deal and then came back. Mm-hmm. And so then you saw when Atmosphere went on tour, Micronauts are always there. You know what I'm saying? If Atmosphere's on tour and I Self Divine has a project, I Self Divine's on tour.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? If Soundset is going on and the project with Muja is popping off with I Self Divine, it's you know, always.
Yes.
Always.
That's a true loyalty and like an appreciation.
But aside from inspire them, let's do for you what people did for Atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Where was the radio station that played any of this stuff? Never. Didn't exist.
No way.
Where were the writers that wrote about Atmosphere? Didn't exist. Where were the places that wanted hip-hop shows? They didn't exist. So, okay, if Atmosphere's in your way, then let's do for you what we did, what people did for Atmosphere. Where was Soundset? What were the hip-hop shows? They didn't even, like, come on. You know, they had there was a bad experience at an Ice Cube concert at First Avenue, and they said no more rap shows for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? And Sadiq and Randy Hawkins, you know what I'm saying? Two black men worked within that organization, and they brought about the first Soundset was a rave party in a warehouse, which is like, who's blocking you from that?
Okay.
And then they did the first sound sets, the actual ones at First Avenue. And was it all Rhymesayers acts? No. You know what I'm saying? They opened that, everything they did, everything these men did. And I'm saying they did it because I wasn't there when those early things happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I was to say, let me do what was done for me, they were already existing. And so I know what it's like to not be part of that thing and to look at it from a distance and be like, man, that looks like an impenetrable castle that no one can ever get in.
Yes.
And I went to them in sincerity and was like, you're doing something right. I don't want anything from you, but I just want to learn from you. And so and I'm willing to work for what you teach me. So I'll lift the boxes, I'll work the register at the store, I'll, you know what I'm saying? And when I was broke, Sadiq would give me $80 for working the register at the store. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know, if
That's
you know,
so
but if I
crazy.
didn't, if I had a job at the time, it's like, man, I just want to be around and I just want to be valuable to you.
Right.
And he was like, word, do you want to host the show? Yes. Now I'm on the mic.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The hosting is dope. And then Sadiq will be like, you want me to play a beat and you spit a verse while you're in between the next artist?
Perfect.
Cool. Now I'm on stage rhyming. You know what I'm saying? But this is after loading in, sound checking, getting the water, making the run, updating the website, doing the so-and-so, doing the so-and-so.
Working.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you worked the register.
I worked the register.
Amazing.
I was working the register on 9/11, on September 11th, 2001. I was at Fifth Element working the cash register.
Blueprint dropped. Like
The blueprint dropped that
on
day.
the same day. I remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember I couldn't get a cab because I'm saying I'm also partially blind and can't drive a car.
Bruh.
So the bus didn't show up, so I called a cab. The cab was like, we can't get a cab because it's, you know what I'm saying? We think the world's ending. So I called Musab. And Musab is still up from the night before. I said, yo, man.
True story for Brother Ali. Let's
I
go.
said, yo, I need to work at the store's opening in like a half hour, and I can't figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I was just about to go to bed. I said, man, it's the store. The store's got to open. He was like, yeah, the store do got to open though, or whatever. He's like, all right.
It's a good impersonation.
He's like, all right, then I'll be over there.
Wow.
So Musab shows up 7 a.m, picks me up. We're driving to Fifth Element, and you know. And he's like, yo, what's going on? Are they going to blame this on the Muslims? You know what I'm saying? And he puts in the Blueprint album. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, this is how these days, day after day after day after day after day. Slug, I remember sitting with Slug one time in the basement of Fifth Element, and he and Sadiq both quit their jobs. Sadiq was a buyer, music buyer at Best Buy, doing well.
I heard. Yes, I know.
Slug was the man. Slug and John were working together at Electric Fetus, and they were the dudes.
Yes.
They're rock star. Like, Slug was a rock star before anybody knew who he was.
Right, right.
He just is a star.
Right.
It wasn't nobody give him that, but God gave him that.
No, he got it.
So people would go to Electric Fetus just to talk to Sean from the Electric Fetus.
Yeah.
They don't even know he raps. Girls were going in there like, tell me what music to buy. And they just want to watch him eat a sandwich because he's a star. You know what I'm saying?
Dogs, this is crazy.
He quits that job. Sadiq quits Best Buy, and they both do Rhymesayers and Fifth Element. They take all the money that they get and put it back into the company. And then they write themselves checks for just their basic living expenses. For years. I remember one day I was at the basement of the store, and Slug was like, I just opened for Run DMC. They paid us $5,000. I took all the money and I signed the check that they gave me over to the company, and then I wrote myself a check just for my rent. He's like, I just sold records out of my personal record collection so that I could buy some food and some new shoes, because we don't pay ourselves for clothes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so he had like $60 or something like that. And I was like, yo, I live in the suburbs. I just missed the last bus. I can't afford a cab. So like we're both in the same boat. He gives me the $60 and he was like, this is the only thing that's gonna make today make sense to me. Please take this. And I'm like, the cab ride's only $25. Take the rest. He's, you know what I'm saying? I had a baby. He said, man, hit a drive-through or something. Go to Perkins with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a big deal for us at that time. So take this. He's like, it's the only thing that's gonna make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So years of this. So like the fact that somebody don't put you on something, man. Not only like, and I'm not saying this to be defensive.
No,
but I'm saying
truth,
like
dog.
this is like the legacy of the music scene here.
Yes.
That like, you know, how do these things become these things that now you look at as gatekeepers? You know what I'm saying? And the reason I'm saying them is because I believe that these artists have a right to actually see what you can do. What can you do? Well, I'll just do what's given to me. And you know what I'm saying? Every complaint is an acknowledgement that I'm just gonna do what other people give me. Every excuse, every complaint is like, I'm gonna do whatever's easy to me because my complaints are between me and what I think I should be. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this part I'm saying to myself.
Right.
Because I complain about the people in the office sometimes.
We all do. You know
what I'm saying?
Real talk.
And people don't realize it's 6 people in there doing all that.
I know.
It's not a massive team.
Corporation.
You know what I'm saying? And are those people, is everybody up in there living great? You know what I'm saying? Is everybody, I'm saying the sacrifices that every single one of those people are still making every single day. It's not Def Jam.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's just not any of that stuff that people think it is.
I know.
People thinking of like, y'all are millionaires. You're tripping.
Right.
You're tripping.
I know. The reality of what
I'm the number 2 guy on the label, and I make the equivalent of a good job. You might make more than me. You probably make more than me. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's
because I don't know what you make. And I'm not interested in counting your damn money. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's my man.
Because I know that you have been on and when you ain't had no radio job, you had what was it? You was still making YouTube videos.
All day, chasing artists, DJing parties over the east side of
getting
St. Paul.
drops. I'm like, what are we doing a drop for? Whatever my next thing is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. This is what I am.
Like when you had no job, you were still Peter Parker.
Of course.